All right, welcome everybody to our Tuesday night. Thank you for hopping on. Tonight we are going to, well, actually all of September, we're going to be addressing social media. And so this week we're going to talk about social media, and then in the coming weeks we're going to talk about Amy, and we are going to talk about continuing to talk about online marketing. And then my hope is to have a guest speaker who is super duper amazing at social media and can provide us some tips and tricks and hints and hacks and things like that. So that's where we are going this month. Now I'm excited because what I did is there's multiple resources on the workstation that talk about social media. And actually in the training section of your workstation under the heading Run Your Business, there is a ton of social media resources. Well, what I did is I took all of those resources, and I'm going to share my screen. I took all of those resources and I combined them into one master social media playbook. So instead of having a ton of different resources in a ton of different locations, I took, let's go to full screen. And I don't know if it's probably really small, isn't it, for you to see? Is it too hard? A little bit. Well, you don't have to read it. I will tell you what is in this master playbook, and then we're going to talk about a few of the items. This will be available to you, and my goal is to have, so remember last week, your challenge for the week was to track your numbers. And so I want to see how many of you, well, actually, let me stop sharing for just a second. How many of you started tracking your numbers since last Tuesday's call? Amber and Wendy and Lisa and Dana. Oh, awesome. Okay, good. I did get a text tonight from somebody who's not able to get on. She said, I will be watching the recording, but I wanted to report it and let you know that, let me not paraphrase. I'll tell you what she said. She said, I did log my numbers every day for the past week like you asked, and it's very helpful to see things in a bigger picture on a daily basis. And I'm like, oh, awesome. Okay, good. So continue to do that. That is such a good business habit to get into. Remember, we are, at the end of the day, business owners. And part of running a business is having a roadmap, not only so that you can gauge where you've been, but also so that you know where you're going. And so this is a really key part that I hope that you adopt this habit and keep it going, especially for a month like September that is unprecedented, so that you kind of have a benchmark. And I think I said that last week, that this is an amazing month. And so you will have this to gauge and compare other months going forward. And so it's an excellent practice to get into. So this week's challenge, so that was last week's challenge, and I hope that it sticks and stays. I hope it becomes a habit that you adopt. But this week, what we're going to do is, by me putting together all of these documents, and I'm going to just tell you what they are. I'm not reading to you, and I'm not going to go through them, but I am going to give you an idea of what is in this document so that when you see it posted with the recording, you know exactly. And actually, I will post it tonight after this call. You'll know exactly what's in it. And these are resources on the workstation, but what I like when everything is in one place, because then I can work through it start to finish. So we have Scentsy social media etiquette, so some do's and don'ts of posting, how to write for social media. So what's the purpose of using hashtags, how to use purposeful posts and promotional posts, and how to incorporate personality. So how to write for social media using keywords and hashtags, and how hashtags are different on the different social media platforms. We also have using Scentsy's social media pages for your business. Keeping in mind, Scentsy writes, they post on the Scentsy page every single day. if you don't think that you have enough content to come up with to be able to post, like today I opened up my news feed and Scentsy had posted something with 3 warmers, and I just instantly copied that, saved the picture, went over to my business page, saved it and posted, but included my personal website link instead of one that would take you to Scentsy.com. So there's a whole training resource right here on using Scentsy's social media pages for your business. In conjunction with online marketing and social media, it's branding yourself. And we talk about this a lot because it's one of my favorite topics to talk about. I am a marketing and advertising major, and so this is kind of my wheelhouse. I love talking about branding and creating your own personality within your business. And that is because that's what customers see, is the personality that you bring out with regards to your business. So branding yourself, how to create a personal brand. So there's a worksheet for you to learn how to do it. There's examples of what to post. There's ways to shoot, how to shoot product photos if you wanted to take your own, how to stylize. This is such awesome content, and I love it, and it's exciting. And even somebody like me who has been doing this forever needs a refresh and a reboot, and I can't wait to go through this as well. But here's some examples of picking a color palette and some fonts that you like to use, but keeping consistent. And this is a huge thing. Have you ever gone to somebody's Instagram page and it's very pretty? Like when you're in their feed on their page, it's all like kind of the same color scheme, and you see a lot of the same fonts or a lot of the same elements in it. So it's very cohesive. That's what this is talking about, is a branding where you're picking your colors, you're picking your font, and that's what you're using for all of your, or the majority of your posts, both on social media and with marketing for your customers. So there's examples of color palettes and eye-catching fonts. And then it shows you some news feeds with that color palette example. So exactly what I'm talking about, how you can create this look. There are examples in this training resource. Oh, I love that. I didn't even notice. So Jilly Sue is one of the accounts that they use in the training resource, and that is who I am going to hopefully get to do our social media training this month. So very, very fun. Okay, and here is an attraction marketing. Attraction marketing and branding kind of go hand in hand. Branding is about your color scheme and your font style, and kind of the way you do everything is all in conjunction with each other. So it all makes sense. You don't have a purple business card in one font and a pink business card in another font, and then you post graphics on Facebook that are orange in another font. You want everything to kind of tie together, just like, for example, here's a prime example. My business card. Okay, can you see that okay? Doesn't matter, you don't need to read it, but there's my business card. Here's my labels for my bars and for my catalogs. So you can see how there's, they match. Because think about it. If you are, and this is going back to the branding talk. If you drove down the road and you saw one McDonald's that had golden arches, then you saw a couple miles away, you saw another McDonald's, and you didn't see the golden arches, but it was a McDonald's, but the sign was in purple, and it kind of looked like an off-brand McDonald's, but then you realize when you get closer that it actually is a McDonald's. Brand recognition, style recognition is important. All businesses do it. And so we're not any different than that. Cohesiveness in our branding And then as well, in our attraction marketing is really important. So there's a worksheet in here in this packet for attraction marketing and getting you to think about what your brand is. And even if, because we've done this exercise multiple times, even if you already have your brand, we always can tweak things. And you're not stuck with certain colors. Like for instance, I used this light coral color before, and now I'm revamping some things and migrating over to using a caricature of myself. It's okay. You can reinvent yourself as many times as you want to, but it's about just having I just keep using the word cohesive because I can't think of anything else. Just having something that looks pretty seamless and put together. It's not by chance or by luck. It is actually very focused. So this attraction marketing worksheet is great. It's a couple pages. This also talks about authenticity in marketing. So not just posting, sign up for free when there's an earn a kit, but rather saying, when you host a qualifying party, you can use your host rewards to help pay for your host exclusive starter kit. That is much different than just saying sign up for free. Or instead of, if you're talking about explaining product benefits, saying Scentsy's eucalyptus lavender mint oil is 100% natural is a heck of a lot better than saying try eucalyptus oil to help your kids get over a cold. Very generic. Or promoting the Scentsy life with Scentsy incentives. Instead of saying join my team, you can win free trips. Instead, you say, I'm so proud I just earned the Scentsy incentive trip and I'm headed to the Mediterranean, all expenses paid. So whatever would attract you is what's going to attract others. If you read your own posts and you wouldn't be attracted to that post or you wouldn't be pulled to learn more about it, then probably somebody else won't as well. So there's, now this is finding me online, how to set up your free online business listings. So this walks you through how to get yourself online for free. So that document is in here. How to use video content to grow your business. So it talks about recording and outlining your content, what platforms that you have that you can use. That's, I think, about 8 pages is using video content. Using Pinterest to grow your Scentsy business. Some of you use Pinterest regularly. Some of you don't use it at all. We'll talk about that in a second. So using Pinterest, using Instagram to grow your business, using Facebook to grow your business, becoming comfortable going live on Facebook, what to show. So there's examples of what to do for Facebook Lives. Facebook groups. So whether you have a business page that is a group or a VIP page that's a group, there's documents that talk about, or there's training resources that talk about Facebook groups. Photify. Now this I included, it's not an actual resource in the playbook. However, I did include the synopsis of all of the different training modules within the Photify training. So how to use it, how to use reposts, how to make a new product announcement, how to use templates and create party invites, how to use the scheduling tool, all within Photify. So these, you can't actually click on these videos, but underneath each video, it says what that video will show you, and that is on the workstation if you search Photify. And then the last part of this playbook is licensing and Disney marketing guidelines, things that you can and can't do with regards to licensed products and Disney products. So the whole last page or the whole last couple pages is how to promote Disney in printed materials. So this entire book is going to be something that I'm working through. So the challenge for this week would be to work through, even if you don't go through all of it, because maybe you're like, you know what, I have enough that I need to catch up on. I can't add one more thing, but at least you can go through it and see if there's anything that speaks to you that might bump up on your to-do list. Like for me, I need to get my Pinterest boards going. So That's what I wanted to ask. So by the show of hands, how many of you have a public Scentsy business page? Jen Derrick, how often do you post on your public Scentsy business page?
Not enough. I post mainly on my personal page and my VIP page. And then I do my public business page if I post on Instagram and have it shared over, but not enough.
Okay. Is your private Facebook page, is your Facebook page private, your personal one?
Yes. But I add all of my clients to my page. And when I do parties, I add them to my personal page and send them a link to my VIP page because not always do they see everything. So.
Right. Okay. Who else has a business Facebook page? Amber, how often do you post on your business page?
I used to not post hardly at all, but I've started after, watching these, being able to get on and watching these videos, I've started actually recording a video of talking of a product. So today I finally got my whiff box for August, finally came. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to record myself opening this and talking about the products. And then I post it because I'm not comfortable yet going live. But I am starting to be more comfortable by just recording myself and then posting it.
That's awesome. Because remember, how often you post is how often your customers will see your posts when they're scrolling. So if you post once a week, I'm a classic case. If I have a week in between when I posted last, my views of that post will be like 50 people. But if I'm consistent and I post every day, all of a sudden 300 people are seeing my post in their newsfeed. So getting better at being more consistent with posting is extremely important on social media. Social media is all tied to algorithms. It's all behind the scenes on how social media platforms want people engaging. So if you are just an observer that sits back and posts occasionally, you are not going to be shown to the masses as much as somebody that's posting every day or twice a day. So who else has a business Facebook page that's public? So let me tell you just a quick story about the business public page that I have people that go back and forth on whether or not to have a public business Facebook page. Because most everybody says, I just share on my personal Facebook page. It's a good mixture of Scentsy and it's a good mixture of personal. And let me tell you what the difference is. So on your personal private page, that's an excellent place where you are showcasing your lifestyle, right? You're showing a little bit of life and family or your day-to-day or your daily with a mixture of Scentsy and how it's incorporated into your life, or it's very lifestyle, right? It's a mixture of things. Whereas your business Facebook page is solely about your business. You don't have to post anything over there personally, because anybody that's publicly going to your business page is not necessarily trying to learn about you. They're trying to learn about Scentsy. Okay. So I'll tell you the story of, I was looking for a local consultant for for another direct selling company. And I searched on Facebook. I did not have a consultant for this company. And so I searched locally, and I searched on Facebook, and the consultant that had an active business page that they had posted recently was who I went with and who I placed my order with. And I did it blindly. And so I always, in the back of my mind, think, because a lot of times somebody will say, nobody engages on my business page. Nobody says anything. Nobody comments. Nobody likes. But the bottom line is, you also don't know how many people are looking at it, how many people are stopping in, how many people are randomly Googling and coming to your page. So you do it out of consistency and presence because you don't know who will stumble upon you. Lisa Godfrey.
So I was gonna say I have both. I have a business page that's public, and I have a VIP group. I also have 2 Instagram accounts, and I have a public one and I have my private one. So my public Instagram is linked to my public business page.
Yes.
Private Instagram is linked to my private VIP group. So it's like you were saying, I post different things on those two ones. So like the public one is more like product images and things like that, showcasing like the products and product information, information about like release dates and things like that, and just sharing what's happening with Scentsy. Versus on my personal Instagram and my VIP group, I'm showing more of myself using the products and doing more stories and things like that. So it's helpful. I've noticed I've gotten a lot of people who have added me on Instagram by keeping that public one active, even though I've started incorporating Scentsy more also into my personal Instagram as well. So I'm getting people I don't know, and I'm also getting people that I already did know more interested.
And that's just it. There is a place for, and give me 1 second, I'm looking at, because I want to show you. I'm just making sure if I show you this, you're not seeing any personal information. I don't think you are. So let me share my screen really quickly. Did you know, if you have, and Lisa just referenced it, if you have a Facebook business page and an Instagram account for business, you can link the two so that when you post on Instagram, it'll automatically post over on your business page on Facebook. Okay. Now, another thing that you can do on your workstation in the accounts tab, if you haven't seen this, let me move everybody. Can you see this social profiles over here on the right-hand side? You can connect your Pinterest account and your Facebook business page to the workstation so that you are able to share directly from the workstation to those places. Did you know that? If you didn't know that, then that's your aha moment for this call, and I'm so glad you got on. If you did know that, I hope you're connected. If you're connected and you knew about it, then you're a pro. You're a veteran. Okay, so like Lisa was saying, there's a place for everything. There's a place on Instagram is very lifestyle, right? Instagram is very lifestyle. It's very, believe it or not, social media is very strategic. It's thought out. It's planned. It's not as random as we sometimes treat it. But especially on Instagram, where you have the ability, now of course, you have to be public on Instagram to have the ability to cast your net out and reach people. If it's private, you only are going to get those that are able to see your profile. So, okay, how many of you have a Facebook VIP page? And I'm going to call on Mary Jane and ask how many times you post on your VIP page.
About 5 times a week.
Okay, 5 times a week. And you add, that is your go-to, correct? When you meet people, you want them on your VIP page, right? And so that's kind of where you funnel all of your people that you come across. Am I right, Mary Jane? So it's not just about putting them in your phone or getting them to add you on Facebook. Your end goal is to get them into your VIP page. Is that correct? Yes. And that's where you're posting. You probably, would you say, post the most out of anywhere? It's engaging and connecting in your VIP page. Is that correct?
Yes, it's the only place I post. I will post a little bit on my regular, but I don't use my regular page for hardly anything. I don't do Instagram. Every time I look at an Instagram, I think it just goes so fast and then it goes away. I don't like that. And so I like to concentrate on having a plan all in the same area and really work it and follow up, and follow up, and follow up, and follow up with these people. I feel like I can't be in multiple places and do a good job. I'd rather pick one place or two possibly, but that's how I feel about the groups too. That's why I'm only in like two groups.
Yep. And that's it too, because again, I don't want anybody to think you have to be a master at all of these different platforms, all of these different things. You have to have all of this. That's not, you are so much better suited to be really good at one or two than to be inconsistent and mediocre at all. So keep that in mind. Different things speak to different people. And certainly, if you feel like you've tried Instagram, it's not really your thing, maybe you haven't tried Pinterest, and maybe that's something where you will focus a little bit of time and energy and consistency onto Pinterest. Anybody on here use Pinterest for their business? Wendy, you do. How consistent and how often do you post to your boards on Pinterest?
I need to get better at that.
So you would say, so I wouldn't even put you in the category of I use Pinterest for business. If that's, or do you have it a little bit?
But I have a little bit.
Okay. Anybody use Pinterest? Nobody on here. Isn't that so funny? Nobody that I can see that's on here. That's something that I want to get better at using, but not posting stock images, posting stylized images, because people use Pinterest, and I forget what the statistic is, but home stylizing and decor is like 40 or 45% of what people go to Pinterest for, is to get ideas on things. And so you don't want to post a stock image that I would scroll past a stock image, but a stylized photo with our Scentsy warmers and trending decor, that has stopping power. And that's what I want to get good at, is starting to build my boards around stylized decorating photos with Scentsy. I want to go back because sorry, I got distracted. Back 1 second for VIP page. Sarah, how often do you post on your VIP page?
Well, I've slacked off a little bit since I went on vacation and came home and the kids are going back to school and everything, but I try to keep myself from posting too many times in a day. So I have a tendency to cap myself off at 2 posts a day. So pick something, and if I like it, then I'll post something in the morning and something in the evening. But I spend a lot of time surfing Pinterest, and I have figured out that my crowd will buy if I can put a stylized picture up. And so when I find something I know that they'll like, I either post it right then or I save it and have that in my back pocket ready for the next day or the day after that or whatever. So I try not to bombard them.
Yep. And a key to having a private group, like a VIP group, is you can schedule those posts. So you can schedule posts to at least have a consistent presence, and then you can go in at any time and add an additional post and post it right then and there. But just having content being pushed out to VIPs is important. Becker.
To unmute. I just have to say, I have a private page for like the people that I don't want them to know my life. So I post that, but then I also post on my personal page too for the people who they like to see how I incorporate Scentsy into my life. So like I just posted this Bright Cider Life is like life to me right now, and I posted my fan and that Bright Cider Life next to me, and this lady who I took care of her kid who is now a sophomore in college was like, "Is that a fan for your car?" Now I've posted about this before because I love the thing, and she went on and bought some because she saw me put that picture on. But that's me being real. Like I use that thing every day. I have one next to my desk. So if I show them how I'm using it every day,
Yep.
they're more apt to order it because they want to do that same thing.
Yeah, agreed. And of course, you are like the Mac Daddy of all social media. So, in my eyes, if anybody, Becker, I get. If I had a nickel for every time I give you accolades for your social media, but legit, Becker's in my C first, and I'll tell you what, she sells me on Scentsy. So, I want to buy things because I see her using it. I strive one day to be as good as you. Nataka, Instagram. You said you just gained 4 customers from Instagram. Tell us how come. Is it because you're consistent? Is it because, tell us what's going on.
So yeah, can you hear me okay?
We can hear you.
Okay, I have a brand new laptop, so I'm just figuring out what the heck's going on. So yes, what I did is I just reached out, not really reached out, I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. So last month was new catalog. So I was just sharing, like, one of the groups had some really, really cool graphics because I didn't have my testers. I didn't get them until September 1st, basically. So I was sharing some images of the catalog, and people had taken their testers and kind of spread them out. And then I took some like live images that people had shared of different warmers, the new plugins, and that's what I shared on Instagram. Sometimes I carried them over to Facebook, sometimes I didn't. And what I was doing was I was doing that selectively because I know some friends of mine who I know that they were new to Scentsy, potentially didn't know about Scentsy, right? So I recently reconnected with some high school friends and people I grew up with that live all across the US, right? And so that's how I generated those sales, was just sharing things from there, always linking my website to it. And then people were ordering, and as soon as they were ordering, I was giving them a shout out. And then I just sat one night and I made thank you bags, and I put the catalogs when I got them, and I put a washer whiff sample, I put a soak sample, and just a handwritten thank you card in there. Thank you for your business, and just an accolade to them for thanking them for ordering from me. And like I said, 4 of them never even knew what Scentsy was about, right? So I put a FAQ list in there of this is how you use the products. Well, those same customers now are ordering from me again this month. So far, 2 out of the 4 people have placed another order, and they're ordering different stuff now. They're watching me on Facebook, they're ordering the pet stuff now, and I wasn't even talking about pet stuff, and I knew they had pets. So I'm just kind of placing that right here. I'm gonna use that later. And even today, one of the customers that I had sent a thank you pack to messaged me and said, thank you so much. I'll be sending you an order this month. And another person who ordered from me 2 months ago, I would have been sharing the gorgeous pumpkin pack like crazy because I finally got it. I was on vacation. I came home yesterday and had to like stalk my neighbor to get my stuff, but I got my bars and I got to smell them, and I said, honestly, I love all 3. I'm not gonna try to say buy them because of XYZ. They all smell amazing. And bam, I'm starting to sell them just like that. I mean, I share pictures. I did a couple live videos on my VIP page, but I've just quit being shy and just kind of said, I got to get up off my butt if I want to hit 1,000 PRV this month.
Yeah.
And I'm already at 500. So
Yes.
yeah.
Awesome.
I've been trying to hustle, and I have 2 buddies now that I said we're going to be buddies forever. And Wendy Weeks, of course, is one. And then Britta is like, let's be buddies. And I'm like, I'll take a West Coast buddy all day.
That's awesome.
We have a lot in common. So I listened to your video and I said, yeah, Britta is my girl because we like General Hospital. We love Scentsy, and we're Michigan girls.
That's awesome. Good. Did anybody else buddy up yet? Anybody?
Sarah and I buddied up.
Who's talking?
It's me. It's me. I'm just
okay.
Yeah, Sarah and I buddied up.
Oh, I'm so excited. Good. Yeah.
And I was gonna say, to jump off what Nataka was saying about Instagram, I just got a couple of new customers too, randomly, because I posted in my, I took what Jilly Sue said at SFR to heart about stories, Instagram and Facebook stories, and I have been using those a lot more because a lot of people on Instagram pay attention to stories way more than they pay attention to the actual posts. And so I've gotten people who knew I sold Scentsy for years, but have never said anything to me about it before, never wanted anything from me. I had a friend of mine who I used to work with here in New Orleans, who now lives in Colorado, just text me randomly today and be like, I need that Potions book warmer. How do I do this whole pre-order thing? And I was like, he's never purchased anything from me before, but because he saw my story on Instagram, he was like, I need this. And he's like, I also am going to need that Disney Villains warmer when it comes out. So
Yeah. Yeah, and I love it that you bring up about stories. Stories is kind of like, because they're only 24 hours that they're there, stories become something people tune into. So you tune into the people that you connect with, that you like to follow. I have people where I tune in every day. I want to see what they're doing. But that's where you're kind of tuning in, and you're getting like, it's window into their world for 24 hours. Then when you meet somebody or you start following them and you start watching their stories and you're like, what are they about? Like, what's their, that's when you go to their account and look at what they've posted. So your Instagram page or profile has become kind of a billboard to, here's all the things that make me tick. Here's all the things I love. Here's, you know, whatever. Here's basically like a synopsis of who I am. But the stories are like the daily, they're informal. They're not really that.
It's like the appetizer. Yeah.
Yes. And same with Facebook has really gone that route as well, because the news feed is so, and I think Jilly touches on this too. The news feed is algorithm, but stories are, the more that you watch somebody, that's just who comes up first. So that's, I mean, and your news feed is kind of like that too. But like for me, I don't hardly ever catch anything in news feed because I have a bunch of friends on Facebook. And so I don't catch things. But if I look through my stories for the people that I'm following, I can catch really quickly. It's like my daily soap opera of here's what everybody's doing. And Facebook is kind of getting that way too, where your Facebook wall is kind of just like a, for me, it's become kind of a reference place, but I've been using stories way more than I've been using my wall. And so there is a definite time, place, and purpose for every aspect of social media and platform. Okay. Did I miss anybody's hand up on anything, or anybody that wanted to add anything else? Because I want to share, I want to tell you one more thing, and then we are at the top of the hour. So I have been doing a bunch of ordering on Etsy, and I love Etsy for a ton of reasons. Small businesses, typically it's individuals that just run their own little businesses. But one of the things I absolutely love about ordering from Etsy is I love seeing the marketing and the customer service that those business owners, when I receive whatever it is I purchase from Etsy, I love seeing what they include. So like, and then I always save the things that people send. So I have a folder that's called marketing and advertising. That's my degree again, remember, that's my brain. But I save all the marketing that comes in with any product that I buy. So I have this whole stack. So like I said, I've been buying on Etsy. So this is all cards that have come with things that I've ordered, and with little inserts. And here's the cool thing though. A lot of times with Etsy orders, people are running Etsy out of their house. So this is their own personal addresses. I am taking and sending Scentsy thank yous, sample packs, to everybody that I bought from on Etsy, and saying, complimenting them on whatever it is their customer service was. So in each envelope, I saved whatever their thank you was or whatever their little insert was. And I'm going to thank them and compliment them on their customer service. And by thanking them, giving them some Scentsy samples to try. And that's going to be kind of I can't say that's going to be my new avenue to work, because that would mean I'd have to be shopping a lot on Etsy. but it's kind of no different than I'm using Shipped for my groceries so that I can meet drivers. I am using this service, during COVID because it's giving me the opportunity to reach this demographic of or niche of people. And for me right now, it's Etsy, and I am going to grace all of these people with Scentsy sample packs, and we'll see what happens. So anyhow, remember some weeks back when we talked about love it lists and putting things that you love on a list so that you can inquire more about those things. So if you are into collecting, okay, this is just the first thing that comes to mind. If you're into collecting stamps and that's something that you absolutely love, finding groups that you can become a part of that you can use to leverage you're building a new community, you have a new audience of people to get to know. And that was just top of my head, but the love list was building all of these things that you love so that you can find out more on how to be involved or get involved with communities based on the things that you love. And so right now my love list is buying from Etsy and gracing the business owners with Scentsy. So, okay, I'm going to hang up from this call, post that for social media playbook. And I challenge you to take on, if nothing else, just one aspect, one platform, one social media, something, branding, attraction marketing, one thing that's in that packet. You can always do more, but don't overwhelm yourself, but do something. And then we'll talk about it next week. In addition to next week, we will be talking about Amy. So that is going to be next week's call. If you don't know what Amy is, it is that follow-up system that Scentsy has integrated into our workstation. It is like the greatest tool ever. And we're going to be talking about that next week. I appreciate you for getting on. And it's great to see your faces as always. So everybody have a good week. Bye, guys. And I'm so excited so many of you buddied up.